YouTube. I'm very excited to be here with you today. It is day 5 of this new challenge that I have set out for myself, which is literally Unfiltered with Franceska. And getting ready in some capacity today, we are not doing full glam. Hello, Laura. We are not doing full glam. We're going to do some hair, but today is day 5 of this challenge. And today I was this close to being like, oh, it's weekend. Nobody's going to notice. And I thought, nope, because yesterday I talked about how you really need 21 days to recalibrate your nervous system. And day 3, everyone quits. And then up until about day 11, it gets really tricky. It's a slippery slope. And when you're a woman, you're also dealing with hormones. So today I was like, I'm going to talk about a luteal phase and how this actually can really mess with your business, with your relationships, if you don't really know what's happening behind the scenes, because it adds a completely like another layer to things. So today, it's for the girlies only. Okay. So I realized that I'm on day 23 of my cycle. And for someone who used to be on consecutive birth control, I used to never even know what a cycle was. I didn't care about a cycle. I didn't care about periods. I found them inconvenient. I had horrible migraines, like you name it. And it wasn't until 2020 where I was like, well, hold on a second. Like I've gone 18 years of my life not knowing what it's like to feel like me, like what it's like to feel like I am in tune with these quote unquote hormones. Like I'm curious what that looks like. And so I came off birth control. It was honestly the best thing I've ever done. And I had support. I would not recommend doing that alone. And just found I had a whole lot of issues, partly because I had been on that consecutive birth control for so long. And it took me a long time to do like a liver cleanse. Oh, we have Sukana in the house. Hi. To do a liver cleanse, to do gut health check. We have Maria in the house. Hello, Maria. And it like completely changed the way that I run my business. And normally, when I'm in this phase, in the luteal phase, I am not at all on a live. I am not at all front facing. And today, because I am doing this challenge for myself, and I have literally bribed myself to finalize it. I have several different milestones, and it's not because I don't want to do it. It's just like when you really take on something additional in your life where you know it's really going to help you and support you, you have to find time, and it's not always convenient, and it can be very easy to quit, especially if nobody's watching. And so I have given myself very good bribes to make sure I continue to show up. So, when I look at my luteal phase in my business, this is typically when I'm like behind the scenes. I'm like editing things, I'm strategizing. By the way, if you are on consecutive birth control, you are essentially always in the luteal phase, which is basically right before you bleed. It's also known as like the fall of your cycle. You're in the like get shit done phase. And honestly, it's great for business. You have zero fucks. You just want to get shit done and off your plate. But there is a significant dip in your hormones. And that's why, we have this whole like drama around the PMS and blah, blah, blah. So the thing is as a woman, if you are having a regular cycle, and by no means am I any kind of like women's specialist, I'm just sharing from experience because this changed my life, that you are cyclical. So there's a reason why, a week ago you were at the gym and you were feeling like a freaking badass. And today you could barely lift like, anywhere close to what you were lifting or what you were doing. Because every month right before your period, your hormones, they shift drastically. Like, your estrogen is dropping, your progesterone rises, your nervous system, it enters, it's like way more alert, way more hypercritical. And the reason why this is so important is because you suddenly feel super tired. You're like, I just feel exhausted. Like I have no energy. You're foggy. You can't remember like basic things. You're sensitive, like, especially with your partner or maybe what's coming in with work. And you just kind of feel like life is off track. And once you learn that this just happens every month, and it doesn't mean anything about you. It doesn't mean anything about, your success. You realize that you're not actually going backwards. You're not actually failing. You haven't actually gotten it wrong. You are literally sinking, and your body is asking you like, hey, listen up. We got big shit going on. Like like stuff is about to happen. Like we need to calm down. We need to slow it down a little bit. And we're not meant to override it. So I just want to remind you that during this time, there is also, because that nervous system has kicked in and you're feeling extra anxious about things like, oh my God, when is this going to work? Or, oh my God, what if this wasn't the right thing? Um, a lot of times women have this spiral and they don't even know why it's happening. They're like, naturally we're like, well, why is this happening? Like, why do I feel this way? And we start looking for a story that we can put with the feeling. But the spiral is happening every time, every month. And unless you're aware of it, we forget, right? Because 4 weeks have gone by since this last happened. And so, most women are not realizing, and the only reason I know all this is because I took this active approach to understand my hormones, what it meant to come off the pill, what it meant to cycle sync, what it meant to run my business according to my cycle. It's the only reason I know this information. Otherwise, I would have probably no clue. So what happens typically is women will start telling themselves, oh, well, I must be out of alignment. And you know what? This happened to me today, actually. I watched my brain because I am tired. I'm in this phase personally. And my brain was like, well, Francesca, you are a non-energy being. There's a reason why you're exhausted. You're doing 2 lives a day and you're running 2 different companies. And, naturally you're trying to have a social life. And I'm like, okay, all of this is true, but it actually means nothing. Like, it is not hard for me to sit in front of 2 screens, Instagram and YouTube, and curl my hair for 20 minutes and talk about something. Like, that's actually does not require a lot of effort. Nobody's saying I'm going to go run like a marathon today. But what happens is a lot of people, when they're in this phase, they're like, oh, I must be out of alignment. Maybe I'm not supposed to be doing this. Maybe I'm too emotional. I'm being too emotional. Maybe I'm not like a great leader. But what's really happening is, especially if you have unresolved childhood trauma, which I want to talk more and more about because over 70% of adults do. So this is not special. It's just unique to you. Is that unresolved childhood trauma is paired with this hormone driven fear. So no wonder it feels a little noisy up there, right? And the voice is saying quit. Like, it's saying quit because it's this inner protector trying to keep you safe. And that's all it knows to do. Like I said, yesterday I talked about this, about the 21 days, how it's not really about learning to be consistent. It's actually reprogramming your nervous system. And if you had to learn how to be successful as a child, whether that was earning love or being praised. Oh, hi, we have Anne in the house. Hi, Anne. Staying small, being quiet, not taking up too much space, then like this is going to be reflected in the way that you respond, especially when you do new things. And so to keep us safe, the nervous system will make sure we stay small, that we quit things that feel too much. So when you learn to lead yourself through this dip, because this little phase, it's 2 weeks long technically, but I feel like the rough part is it's about a week out from your period itself. If you learn how to lead yourself through the dip without judgment, this is when you become truly unshakable. So for me, like I said, syncing my business to my cycle, it changed everything. So I want to kind of give you like a breakdown of what that model would look like. So hello, Jazz, my mojo is in the house. So I'm talking about syncing your cycle to your business because it's a big game changer. And I feel like and I think from a doctor's point of view, you would find this very interesting. So follicular is like your inner spring. So this is like right after your period ends. And this is really like build mode. So this is where you have your most creativity, your energy is returning. You're like, oh my God, I have all these amazing ideas and I want to act upon them. And then ovulation is clearly when you can get pregnant. And ovulation is like your summertime. It's like, I feel good. I feel powerful. I feel confident. So for me personally, like anytime I have to, oh, fabulous. I've been learning about human design. Honestly, human design is a game changer. Um, anytime that you have to sell something, launch something, put yourself out there, then that is in your ovulation. Like in one of my businesses, the Hotel Florist, like for our YouTube, I will sit down and I will batch all of our videos for YouTube when I'm ovulating, because this is when I have the most energy to like get it all done for the following month. When I have a contract negotiation with a hotel, I will probably schedule that around the time that I'm ovulating. Um, Anything that requires me to have an extra level of confidence, that is going to be during that ovulation. Like I said, little phase, you're foggy. So we're going to go with that. This is not going to be perfect, but done is better than perfect. And then menstrual is all about like the shedding of what was. I love this time to look at what worked really well this month, what didn't work very well this month, what would I do differently. It gives me like an entire like permission to revisit my life in an amazing way. The challenges, I suppose, when you're navigating premenopause, perimenopause, when your cycle is out the window. Yes. So that I have not gotten there yet. So if you have helpful tips, I am all ears. I just wanted to talk about this today because I just feel like, for someone that was on consecutive birth control for 18 years and had no idea that hormones played such a vital role in one's health, I was like, well, today, being that I feel super foggy and I've been dealing with the anxiety and everything that comes with that luteal phase, I'm like, well, that's what we're going to talk about today, because I'm all about being unfiltered and normalizing what it's like to actually be a woman and still be successful and still be driven. So instead of pushing harder, which we've all been conditioned to do, it is really about getting smarter. So even just like listening to this conversation and being like, oh, I wonder how I could apply that to my life. You stop ghosting your business. You stop like, self-doubting yourself. And you really start just trusting your rhythm. So like for me, I'm like, I'm never going to make hard decisions unless it is probably in my ovulation phase, because anything else, I'm like, I don't trust it. I trust my rhythm, but I might not trust the decisions that come from that time. So what I really want to leave you with today is that you realize that your inconsistency, it was never a flaw, especially as a woman. It was literally unacknowledged brilliance waiting for a blueprint for you just to actually even understand like how this works. And for me personally, I needed support. Like I said, when I was on consecutive birth control, it was perfect for it was perfect for building a business because I never had to feel anything. I never had to deal with annoying periods. I never had to when you're in that forever fall mode, you're just in this like I need to get shit done mode, and I loved it. I often joke that I felt like a robot. But when I came off of that birth control and I decided to cycle sync and like to really learn what hormones meant and like how I could optimize them, I realized that I needed to do life differently. I needed to do my workouts differently. I needed to do my business differently. And so that's why I did create a resource. I created it for myself first. It's called Sync Your Business to Your Cycle. And it is a 28-minute audio. It literally is just a power training covering your weekly strategies for each phase of your cycle. It includes like foods you should be eating, fitness aligned with your hormones. There's a monthly planner in there and journal prompts, because again, like being able to just look at your life at the end of or at the beginning of your cycle and just say like, okay, what worked last month? Like, what do I feel really good about? How do I feel about my relationships? How do I feel about my company or my career? And knowing that you can eat things that are going to make a huge impact. Like, for example, whenever you're in this luteal phase, you start craving your chips and your chocolate and all the things that have now just kind of become cliches. But if you were to eat something like sweet potato fries, for example, they do the same effect. They fulfill that craving, but they actually support your body in a completely different way. So it's just understanding what it is that you actually need to support yourself and your hormones. And the reason why I love this is because you have less burnout, you have more brilliance, you're literally supporting yourself as you're doing your life. And I just feel like we need to have more honest conversations about this, because I know, especially as like high achieving women that are really driven, when we feel like we can't give it like 100%, we make it mean something about us. And sure, it might be something about us because of our hormones, but it's not because we are not trying hard enough, or we're lazy, or we're like, I don't understand. Like yesterday was perfect. Why am I struggling so much today with this? It's because your hormones. You're a fluid, complex being, and you can actually like sync your whole entire life around your hormones. And you feel like a completely different person. Like version me a week ago, I'm like, I need her back. I need her back. Hormones are everything. Girls should be taught this when before they hit puberty. Yes. Yes, I totally agree with this. So this is the magic. This is more of the conversation that I want to bring to the table. You really can. I mean, this impacts like your partnerships. Like, you know, for example, I told my husband today, I was like, hey, this is where I'm at in my cycle. I'm feeling extra sensitive. I'm feeling exhausted. So I don't feel like super social. And, you know, I need a little patience. Like I'm feeling withdrawn, because they pick up on that. Right. And then they're constantly like, what's wrong? What's wrong? What's wrong? And then you're like, nothing's wrong. Stop talking to me. How are you? Tuesday will be in Munich. Oh, that's so exciting. Oh my gosh. Send me a DM. Maybe we can meet. That would be amazing. Gosh, long time. Hi. So that's what I wanted to talk about. Your cycle is your superpower. So that is today's live of Unfiltered with Franceska. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for being here. And I will see you tomorrow. Same place.